The Brian Tighe and Friends large tiebreaker in spear point. The ugly, the bad, and the good. Review coming up. Okay, this is more like initial impressions. Just got it and have formed some opinions on it. Um, let's go straight at it. The ugly, and I'm going to just say straight out. Ugly is this pivot. Check it out, the pivot. Although very beautiful, check out that torques. I actually didn't have the correct torque bit because my Weehow goes down to T6. It's T5 or something like that. I actually ended up using a Chinese, some of my Chinese torques a bit, and those just basically stripped on this. I was able to take it apart, and it's quite unique. And when you take it apart, and of course, integral design is a little bit tricky because you have to almost, this comes apart and you slide the blade out, and then when you reassemble it, so you have to, it's a balancing act while holding like the lock. So not as easy. The ugly is, it's just not easy to maintain. It's not a knife that you would take apart. So if you're that type of person, it's probably not for you. But if you don't care about that, then that's it. So that's basically the ugly. Okay, the bad. So what's bad about this? I don't know. It's more of like art knife. So when you get an art knife, you're going to have hot spots when you're holding onto it. I can feel a bit here when I'm holding onto it, but it's to be expected. It's not really bad, to be honest, because, I mean, of course you can say it's bad because you're supposed to use a knife, but yeah. What else? The grind is okay. It's like, this is nitpicking. Just, like there's a sort of sweeps up like that. I don't know if they could have dig the choil in to make it completely flat. Then S30, I don't know, S30 for 490 US. Some people might think it's overpriced. Shiro Neon Ultralight is that, but you're getting insane milling, right? Made in the USA for 490, so you're in the ballpark of Chris Reeves. Koenig knives, and maybe Millet or some other knives like those. You're in that territory. So Midtech, this is off of Brian Tighe's Tiebreaker, his custom knife, and this is a way to own it for cheaper. What else is bad? Okay, the weight. It feels pretty stout. I think it weighs on the, let's see, zeroed out and put it on, and 6.5. So it's quite heavy for EDC. 6.5. Not a lightweight knife. I know they make I know they make a smaller version, but to be honest, I wouldn't want this smaller. It would look kind of silly, like a novelty if it was smaller. This is more, it looks like a fighter knife, and I think this kind of size is more proportionate. And what else? Button lock. Not the 100% best. This is a button lock, aka plunge lock. So as you can see, you have the dual thumb studs going into the integral frame, and then you have this in a kind of like a wedging in right through the back, and that's it. So that's what's causing the, locking up the blade. So I can feel, if I'm picky, I can feel just a slight. Nah, I'm being picky. It's a very slight. So I find that you either have to, you can kind of like make it tighter, and then, or looser, and you can have the blade drop like crazy. So it can have like really great action, or I prefer a little bit more robust feel because I'm used to like cold steels and other like very, I hate blade play more than anything else. So it's all right, but I don't know. I can feel a little bit if I go to side, and I think that's due to what happens is that it's sandwiching it on one side this one side, and it's just a small area on one side, as opposed to like the hole be right behind it, like a liner lock or a frame lock, or as a frame lock you would hold it, you can really squeeze it into and squeeze out the any kind of blade play. So, and then as you see when it goes, let's see, when you're closing it, this kind of barrel is just going against the side of the blade until it falls in, and that's basically the detent right there. So the detent is right like there, and then so as it's breaking, it's pushing it like that. So inside here, there's a spring. So as you're assembling it, you're actually squeezing this. It's a really balancing act. You're squeezing this, all this collar comes out, and this other collar comes out. But it's like all the fit and finish is superb. It's all like goes in like a puzzle, and yeah. But damn, you know that Torx. What were they thinking? Honestly, I mean, it looks so clean. It looks so clean. The Torx, the milling. It's not sloppy job, but it's just too small, man. What are you guys doing? Okay. Good. They're good. Damn, it is beautiful. Look at this thing. Right? Look at the milling job, and as it like shines. Look at that. It's insane. What is this? Batman's knife? It's like something from Alfred Hitchcock, and I guess maybe I have sort of thing. Look, they definitely cannot mill it from the inside because all that milling from the outside. It is the let's see, all the fit and finish is superb. No complaints. I can probably see some milling lines. They probably machine milled the blade, which actually I don't mind. It's very, very light. I don't mind. This feels like a hollow point to me. I don't mind that because honestly, I'm so OCD. I don't care if a machine or a person makes it, as long as it's really tight tolerances. So yeah, it's gonna be like half the price, almost half the price. So what are you gonna spend, like $850? $850 for a Tighe custom versus this made in USA. That's 30. It's 30V good enough, because you're not gonna be like chopping down trees with it, to be honest. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, love it. Look at they did the milling on the blade and stuff like that. They have multiple different type of blade options. I think when people see this kind of thing, they think, wow, it's fierce. That's a fierce and savage blade. And people are just going to automatically assume it's expensive. I mean, to do an integral knife requires some milling skills, right? There's nothing sandwiched. It's so clean here. Functional lanyard space. Awesome. Beautiful knife. All right, conclusion. Who is this for? I don't know, some jackasses. You don't need, nobody needs a knife like this, but it's beautiful. It's a way to own a custom knife for cheaper. I mean, you can barely tell the difference between the Tighe custom and this Midtech. You know, I actually hate the name Brian Tighe and Friends. It sounds like something from like Full House or Full House and Friends. It's like, it sounds like so like tacky, but that actually held me off for a while from buying this knife. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the custom because I hate that. It's kind of like the whole mask drop thing. I will never buy a mask drop as long as they put that huge billboard on the side of the knife. But if they switch off to it like a MD logo or something, a very small laser etch that like this size, then yeah, I would love to get some mask drop knives. But yeah, you can't really see and Friends, and I got over it. Maybe I should get over the mask drop and stop being an idiot. But yeah, it's a phenomenal milling work, and you know, it looks like something like phenomenal stuff you would see from Koenig, and the fit and finish is anything you would expect from Chris Reeve, and Chris Reeves costs around that price. I got a thing for birds. Let me compare it to another knife I own. Ta-da! Wee knife, the Eschaton by Elijah Isham. And let's see. So let me just weigh that, because let's see which one would be the better knife. 2.9, man. It's less than half the weight because all the millwork on this. This knife I love. So it's a semi-integral. So these two are, it's sort of like brothers from another mother. Just like weirdo knives, but I have plenty and plenty of utilitarian knives, and like so I'm starting to sway into some excellent action on this. And this is seriously, I don't think Wee Knife is going to make a, yeah, I hate that digress, but I don't think Wee Knife is ever going to make a knife like this in the future. It's just so much awesome work into it. So actually this knife is more of an EDC. It's a weird feeling knife because it actually feels head heavy. Unless you hold it here, it feels head heavy. But this is a knife that feels like, oh, it's a, where's the weight on this? Yeah, it's pretty much in the middle. So it's well balanced. It's a well balanced knife, to be honest. So all this titanium, instead of Zerk, and some Zerk here of the custom, but looks just as cool. And basically buying it for this kind of milling action. This is definitely a conversation piece. Is an art piece. If you dig those kind of knives, you're in the right spot. This is, I would highly recommend. Let's see what comes in the box. I mean, you get the box and you get a little wrap, little pouch for it. But yeah, look at this, limited lifetime warranty. So as original owner, free from any defects and stuff like repair and everything like that. So you feel there is some confidence when you buy and use this knife, because maybe you'll think that my only concern would be maybe they'll develop some kind of problem with the plunge lock in the future. Maybe not, because you're thinking wear. When you think of a knife, you're thinking about the wear. So as this goes in, how does it wear? But yeah, this button lock can actually go quite a bit even more out. So if this wears out, maybe it won't, because you got it's not titanium, it's hardened steel over the bliss blade steel. It's probably not going to shift over that much during the life. If it does, the button should come out a little bit, and then this will wedge in a little bit more, and there's still room inside. So yeah. Let's see how the action is. Good enough. No Shiro. But yeah, if I had this loose, then it'll drop like a hammer. But action is good. You can launch it multiple ways. So yeah, fidget factor, it's good enough. When it swacks out, you just feel it. You definitely feel it click. It's more of a, I would feel it's more of a push button more than a light switch. So yeah, in terms of flipper, it's okay. Everything is fine, mostly for the looks. And action is fine. Fit and finish is superb. And so if you're interested inside Tighe custom knives, Brian Tighe, this is it. It's a definite recommend because of that. I love it. I hope this is just not the honeymoon phase. It's so beautiful. I love the milling work on it. It's very distinctive, and I think I would love. I don't know. Everyone can afford to dive into like all the different type of knives, and but I think a lot of people, like, you should own one Shabazz, one Shirogorov, maybe one Hinder. That's one I'm missing. And I believe this fits in the space as well, that you should own one of this Brian Tighe knife. And this introduces a more affordable way to own Brian Tighe knife. And gives you an option to have an integral knife, 1, 2, a button lock, and have a very conversation piece knife. So it gives you all those different characteristics that probably not so familiar with other knives. There's not so many button locks out there, and there's nothing that looks like this in the knife world. So yeah, I like it. Hope you enjoyed this review, and stay tuned for more reviews, or not, I don't know.